Welcome to SATV News. This is Tushya Amin with our headlines. BNP aims to secure democratic change after July uprising, says Fakhrul. Salahuddin warns against commercializing spirit of uprising. No election engineering will be allowed in next election, says Jamaat chief. Failure to hold February polls could push country into crisis. And record number of international observers expected for upcoming elections, says EC Sanaullah. Democracy to be revived through election. Now in details. BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir today said the party aims to utilize the post-July uprising political shift to establish a permanent democratic state structure in Bangladesh. Mr. Fakhrul made the remark while speaking as the chief guest at a discussion organized by the Caretaker Welfare Council of the Mosque-Based Children and Mass Education Program under the Islamic Foundation, held at the Institution of Diploma Engineers in the capital's Kakrail area. He also accused former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina of stripping citizens of basic rights, including voting and religious freedom, saying even Friday's sermon content had been dictated in writing under her rule. Referring to the BNP signing of the July Charter, he said the party had long advocated for fundamental reforms, adding that those demanding proportional representation had since softened their stance. Meanwhile, BNP Standing Committee member Salahuddin Ahmed has strongly criticized what he described as the growing trend of authoritarianism and democratic blacksiding under the former Awami League-led government. Speaking at a gathering of freedom fighters and youth organized by the Bangladesh Nationalist Freedom Fighters Party at the Central Shohid Minar in Dhaka, he warned against the erosion of democratic institutions and the concentration of power. BNP leader Salahuddin Ahmed has called on political groups not to claim exclusive ownership of last year's student-led mass uprising, warning that attempts to commercialize its spirit would be met with public rejection. Salahuddin paid tribute to BNP founder President Ziaur Rahman, calling him a true architect of national unity and democratic governance. Urging the restoration of a credible, inclusive democracy, Salahuddin said, the anti-democratic tendencies we see today must be resisted. If we fail to strengthen democratic norms, we risk paving the way for future authoritarianism. He also stressed the importance of holding free and fair elections under a non-partisan caretaker government, a long-standing demand of the BNP. Jamaat-e-Islami Amir Dr. Shafiqur Rahman has said that the political environment ahead of the upcoming national election is far from a level playing field, warning that failure to hold the polls by February could push the country into crisis. He made the remarks while addressing a gathering at Chattogramm's parade ground after landing there on a helicopter at 3 p.m. today. Dr. Shafiqur said Jamaat is focused on its demand for introducing proportional representation, which he described as essential for ensuring democratic rights. We have no time to poke anyone or respond to provocation. Our demand for PR is for the people's benefit. Even if we come to power, we will implement it, he said. He added that holding local government elections within the current time frame is unrealistic. We are not placing any demands that cannot be implemented. At this moment, local government polls are not practical, he noted. Rejecting the idea of forming any political alliance for the national election, Shafiqur said Jamaat would move forward with central consensus. Shafiqur also criticized the proposal to hold a referendum on the day of the national election, warning that it could lead to election genocide due to mismanagement or chaos. A record number of international observers are expected to monitor the upcoming 13th national polls, which Election Commissioner Abdul Fazal MD Sanamullah described as a milestone that will mark the restart of democracy in Bangladesh. Speaking at a workshop organized by the Asian Network for Free Elections at a Dhaka hotel today, the commissioner said he hoped no international mission would want to miss what he called a historic event. He also said that democracy will be revived through the 13th parliamentary election. He noted that the age limit for local observer had been lowered following requests from partner organizations. However, he said additional training would be necessary to address the lack of experience among younger participants. During the workshop, election experts from Thailand, Sri Lanka, the Philippines and other countries exchanged views with the Bangladesh Election Commission. They stressed that earning public trust and ensuring the participation of all stakeholders were essential for holding a free, fair and credible election. Less than 24 hours after an earthquake struck Mahabdi in Noshindi yesterday, another tremor was recorded in Baipal this morning. According to Bangladesh Meteorological Department, the 12th second earthquake was felt around 10:36 am, which measured 3.3 on the Richter scale. So far, no major damage has been reported from today's mild tremor. Earlier on Friday, a powerful earthquake of magnitude 5.7 shook the country, leaving at least 10 dead and over 650 injured. The tremor originated between Mahabdi and Gorashal in Noshindi Shodor at 10:38 am, according to BMD. Government moves to draft Fish advisor Farida Akhtar has urged fish farmers across the country to ensure safe fish production, stressing the need for using safe feed and medicines in aquaculture. She announced that the government is moving towards formulating a comprehensive fish farming policy to strengthen the sector. Speaking as the chief guest at the International Fisheries Conference and Exhibition in Rajshahi this afternoon, the advisor called on farmers to avoid destroying agricultural land and instead utilize fallow land by excavating ponds for fish cultivation. The day-long conference was organized at the Qazi Nazrul Islam Auditorium of Rajshahi University by the university's Department of Fisheries in collaboration with the Rajshahi Commercial Fish Farmers Cooperative Society. Farida Akhtar highlighted that 40% of the country's total fish demand is met by fish produced in Rajshahi, where crab varieties enjoy significant popularity nationwide. She added that crab from this region also has high demand among Bangladeshi communities living abroad. As a result, the government is taking steps to promote the export of crab fish, she said. We're taking a short break. Please stay with us.
World-class gym facility with exclusive equipment for man and woman. A restaurant of delicious local and international cuisine. Fully air-conditioned building with spacious banquet, car lift, sky view rooftop restaurant, all in one. Grand Club Limited, Mirpur 10, Dhaka.
কি এমন জিনিস যেটা সব লোকে খায়, ছোটরা খেলে পরে কেঁদে মায়ের কাছে যায়, বৃদ্ধ লোক খেলে পরে মাথায় দেয় হাত, যুবক যুবতীরা খেলে পরে এদিক ওদিক তাকায়।
ছেড়ে দে শয়তান, ছেড়ে দে, দেহ পেলে আমার মন পাবি না, ছেড়ে দে।
কোন ফলের বীজ নেই বলো দেখি দাদা, বলতে না পারলে হবে তুমি গাধা।
মন্দিরা চক্রবর্তী কার সাথে প্রেম করছে?
আমি এখন মা হতে চলেছে।
চিনেছি তোমারে আকারে প্রকারে, দিনের আলো রাতের আধারে।
কোন বাসায় শুধু দুজন থাকে, দরজা জানালা ছাদ কিছুই থাকে না?
পা পায়ের নুপুর ছন্দ মনে হচ্ছে কি ছু দিয়ে জাদু মন্ত্র এক্স্যাক্টলি
পায়রে নুপুর আমার
অরিক্স স্পেশাল সেলিব্রিটি শো তারকার ঝলক দেখবেন প্রতি শুক্রবার রাত 9:30
ভালোবাসা একবার তুমি বউ কইরা ডাকো।
হ্যাঁ গো,
আর কত দূর
আরে আমি তো ফিডের গাড়ির লগে।
তোমার গরু হাঁস মুরগি মাছ তো অনশন শুরু কইরা দিছে।
কি কও, অনশন শুরু কইরা দিছে কেডা? হাঁস মুরগি মাছ।
আরে ওগো মতি গতি দেখা মনে হইতাছে এসএফএন ছাড়া কিছুই খাইবো না।
হ্যাঁ গো, এসে ফিডের খবর ওরা জানলো কেমনে?
আরে ভালো জিনিসের খবর ছড়াতে কি আর মাইক লাগে? খবর ভাসে বাতাসে বাতাসে।
Welcome back. You're watching SATV News. Now news from abroad. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, host of this weekend's gathering of group of G20 leaders, said on Saturday there was overwhelming consensus for a summit declaration despite United States boycotting the event. In his opening remarks to the Johannesburg summit, Ramaphosa said there has been overwhelming consensus and agreement that one of the other tasks we should undertake right at the beginning is to adopt our declaration. He thanked all delegations who had worked together with South Africa in good faith to produce a worthy G20 outcome document. Trump said US officials would not attend the summit because of allegations widely discredited that the host country's black majority government persecutes its white minority. 3 out of 4 of South Africa's planned top agenda items preparing for climate-induced weather disasters, financing the transition to green energy, and ensuring the rush for critical minerals benefits producers are closely linked to climate change. The fourth is about a more equitable system of borrowing for poor countries. The United States will host the G20 in 2026, and Ramaphosa said he would have to hand over the rotating presidency to an empty chair. New York Mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani used his first White House meeting with US President Donald Trump on Friday to restate his accusation that the Israeli government is committing genocide and to criticize US funding of Israeli military actions. Pressed by a reporter on his past comments about the subject, Mamdani drew a distinction between Israel and the United States, saying he had spoken about the Israeli government committing genocide and about US government funding it. He told Trump that many New Yorkers want their tax dollars redirected from foreign conflicts to basic needs at home, citing a 9th consecutive year in which more than 1 lakh school children in New York City are homeless. Trump did not directly respond to Mamdani's characterization of Israeli actions as genocide during the brief press ability. At the same time, Trump brushed off a question about Mamdani, previously calling him a fascist, telling reporters he did not take offense. Regarding the Russia-Ukraine war, Trump said Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will have to like a US-backed peace plan to halt Russia's invasion and ultimately approve it.
Ultimately, a safe New York is going to be a great New York. If it's not safe, no matter how well we...
Meanwhile, Israeli forces have carried out airstrikes and tank fire east of Rafah and launched additional air as well as artillery attacks near Khan Yunus, with artillery fire also hitting the eastern part of Deir el-Bala and Gaza City's Tufa area. Efforts to locate the bodies of many missing Gaza residents are set to begin in Maghagizi camp in the center of the enclave, involving support from the Red Cross, the Egyptian committee and the local police force, according to the Palestinian Civil Defense. Meanwhile, in southern Lebanon, an Israeli drone has fired 2 guided missiles at a car near the town of Qatar al-Sharqiya, killing 1 person according to local media reports. Israel's genocidal war on Gaza has killed at least 69,546 Palestinians and wounded 170,833 since October 2023. Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Friday that Moscow had received the US proposals for peace in Ukraine and that the plan could be the basis of a peaceful resolution of the conflict. Putin made the comment while speaking to senior officials, adding that the plan had not been discussed in detail with Russia. The Russian president also said that Ukraine was against the plan, but neither Kyiv nor European powers understood the reality that Russian forces were advancing in Ukraine and would continue to advance unless there was peace. Meanwhile, the Kremlin said on Friday that around 5,000 Ukrainian troops were trapped on the eastern bank of the river Oskil in Ukraine's eastern Kharkiv region. Russia said late on Thursday that it had taken control of Kupianskan, a large town that straddles the Oskil, but Ukraine denied it had fallen. Russia's battlefield progress should convince Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to negotiate now rather than later. He also highlighted comments that President Vladimir Putin made on Thursday that Ukraine's political leadership had not given Ukrainian troops any instruction on surrendering despite them being trapped. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Friday said Nigel Farage should investigate the links between Reform UK and Russia after a former leader of the party in Wales was sentenced on bribery charges. Nathan Gill had pleaded guilty in September to 8 counts of bribery related to payments he had received between December 2018 and July 2019 from pro-Russian Ukrainian politicians. The governing Labour Party called for Reform's leader, veteran Brexit campaigner Nigel Farage, to carry out an investigation to ensure it had no pro-Russian links. Reform, currently well ahead in opinion polls, said his actions were reprehensible, treasonous and unforgivable.
Investigate how that happened within his party, and equally importantly, what other links there are between his party.
If Japan wants to follow the old path of militarism, abandon its commitment to peaceful development and undermine the post-war international order, it will ultimately end in failure, a Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson said here on Friday. Responding to relevant queries, spokespersons Mao Ning during a regular briefing also said that after the victory of World War II, international legal documents such as the Cairo Declaration, the Potsdam Proclamation and the Japanese Instrument of Surrender clearly stipulated Japan's obligations as a defeated country, including complete disarmament and the prohibition of maintaining industries that could enable rearmament. However, Japan has been constantly expanding its military power in recent years, with the defense budget having increased for 13 consecutive years. A new security bill passed to lift the ban on collective self-defense rights, Mao said, adding that Japan has continuously eased restriction on arms export and even began the export of lethal weapons. The Pakistani Islamist party Jamaat-e-Islami Pakistan on Friday condemned the government's recent constitutional amendment, with a senior official saying they had compromised the entire judicial system during a large gathering in the eastern city of Lahore. Addressing supporters at Iqbal Park, party leaders denounced the 26th and 27th amendments, which the government says are needed for governance efficiency, but which opponents argue damage the country's funding charter. Jamaat-e-Islami has rejected this amendment, said Abdul Rashid Turabi, an advisor on Kashmir affairs for the party. The 26th and 27th Amendments have compromised the entire judicial system, affecting and undermining the fundamental spirit of Pakistan Constitution. Party Chief Hafiz Naimur Rahman framed his criticism in religious terms, directly addressing the ruling party. Brazil's federal police arrested former President Jair Bolsonaro preemptively on Saturday, days before he was set to begin his 27-year prison sentence for leading a coup attempt, officials said. According to a close aide, the embattled former leader was taken to the police force headquarters in the capital, Brasilia. The force said in a short statement, which did not name Bolsonaro, that it acted on the request of Brazil's Supreme Court. Neither Brazil's federal police nor the Supreme Court provided more details. Bolsonaro's aide, Adriane Siniro, confirmed to the Associated Press that the arrest took place around 6 a.m. on Saturday. The 70-year-old former president was taken from his house in a gated community in the upscale Jardim Botanico neighborhood to the federal police headquarters, Siniro said. Before ending, we'll go to the headlines again. BNP aims to secure democratic change after July uprising, says Fakhru Salahuddin warns against commercializing spirit of uprising. No election engineering will be allowed in next election, says Jamaat chief. Failure to hold February polls could push country into crisis. Record number of international observers expected for upcoming election, says EC Sanaullah. Democracy to be revived through election. You're updated with the top stories so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.